Slovenia's Petja Klušnik in lane 6. Then the South African Sian Swart, fastest in the field at 1:58. She's the only sub 2-minute woman racing, and that includes the Kenyan Gladys Chepngetich. Sophie Coots of Canada in lane 3, Hayley Kitchen of Australia in lane 2, and Sweden's Stina Pettersson is on the inside. Laura Pellicono won gold for Italy by just 14 hundredths of a second in Chengdu. She's back, there she is, ready to defend her title. Jon Stewart also back as well. So then, the gold medalist and the bronze medalist both back to try to add more silverware, more medalware. Silver was the only one they didn't take, actually, 2 years ago. 2 laps of the track. First 4 in each heat will go through to the semi-finals, and the next 4 fastest who don't qualify by right will take their place too. So again, when you've got these fastest non-automatic qualifying places on offer, there's a decision to be made whether you lead it out or whether you try to rely on the fact that you might have a kick to get you in. And you can see that the Australian Hayley Kitchen has chosen the former of those two. She's gone out hard. They are single file already. Second place, Chepngetich of Kenya and the defending champion. Behind them, 59.53. The first lap is quick. Well, if they keep going, they're on for a sub 2-minute time, which would be astonishing in a heat. Will they be able to keep it going? Only one woman in the field has actually managed to go under 2 minutes, so this would be astonishing if they managed to do it all the way. Pellicoro's just dropped back again. She's just allowed the others to go, and she's gone into 5th place at the moment. She started to move forward once more, though. There she is, going round the outside of the Slovenian Petja Klušnik. It's the Kenyan Chepngetich, though, who leads at the moment. First 4, remember, to go through. There are 6 or so fighting forward, although the Canadian Sophie Coots is beginning to lose a little bit of ground now. The Australian Kitchen has dropped back slightly. South Africa's Swart there. So too is the other woman on the podium before Pellicola, the champion, goes through as well. And a great run by Gladys Chepngetich, who employed some wonderful tactics in that and got across the line comfortably. Gladys Chepngetich then winning in 2:02. Laura Pellicoro, the defending champion, second. Just 7 hundredths of a second behind her, but that's irrelevant in this stage. A little bit of a gap until we find out who's next. Naita Siru was the silver medalist, incidentally, 2 years ago in China. Sian Eileen Swart, and there she is, through as well, only 3 hundredths of a second behind, so she takes her place in the semis as well. Fourth place, Hayley Kitchen, the Australian, rewarded for that early pace-making role that she performed by getting 4th and also grabbing her place then in the next round. Pellicoro not really doing any more than she had to. She took it nice and easy for 600 meters and then just eased her way around into a qualifying position. So confirmation then of the four going through: Chepngetich, Pelikoro, Svart and Kitchen. 203.96 for Kluznik, and 4 others will be waiting too.
And in the discus, Rousseau of Australia into the circle for his third attempt. 53.13 on the first round. He needs to improve on that. Currently in 11th position, and he has a slightly better throw. That red line is denoting the 8th position, which currently sits with Jakub Forech of Czechia with 55.97. Now, the top 8 do get 3 further throws, so that's what Rousseau is looking at. So does he move up? No, he only moves to 10th, so he'll be out. Rousseau, he won't get 3 further throws. And following him is the said man, the Czechian, who is in 8th position for Forech. 55.97 put him in that position. Currently in 8th. You can see that 8 number to the left of his country and his name. This will seal his position in the top 8 if he can improve on this throw. All right, it's over that red line, so you can see an 8 there at the end of the red line. That's the top 8, and that was him, and he's gone over that. So he has improved with a slight improvement, with only 1 throw left in the competition in this first 3 rounds, and that's the Indian Abhimanyu, who's had 2 no throws. So 56 meters for Jay of Czechia, and I'm pretty confident he'll stay in 8th position. Back to the track for another 800-meter heat, heat 2.
Just had a lot of biscuits dumped in front of me, John, so I'll have to clear them off the start list for this heat 2, round 1. On the outside, Malaysia's Jermaine, inside her Great Britain's Lucy Armitage, then Turkey's Tugba Toptas, Switzerland's Veronica Vancado. The only woman under 2 minutes in this heat. Uganda's Priscilla Akello takes her place in lane 4. India's Amardeep Kaur in lane 3. Then Ukraine's Alina Korsenska. And Chloe Firsta of the USA is on the inside. So then, plenty to chase after in this one. It was pretty quick in the first of these heats, but the slowest non-automatic qualifying time is a very generous 2:09.67 at the moment, set by Stina Pettersson, finishing 8th in that first heat. Well, they're on a similar pace by the looks of it. If anything, the time at 200 is anything to be judged by. Vancado is leading for Switzerland at the moment, ahead of the Turk Toptas. The American Chloe Förster on the curb at the moment, which is not ideal, although with 4 qualifying, it's not a disaster. She wouldn't necessarily want to be there, though, in the final if she makes it. Bell goes. Slower. A good deal slower than the first heat, so that might not necessarily be a bad thing. They might have a bit more energy for the second lap. The girls lost a bit of puff on the second lap, even though it was a very rapid 2:02, which is quick for a heat. Going well. There is Tugba Toptas of Turkey, wearing that bib number 8 on her shorts. Up front, though, It's Veronica Van Cardo of Switzerland, fastest in the field, looking very much in control. Chloe Förster has now emerged from that inside roll on the curve and is very comfortable in second. And it's India's Amardeep Kaur who is going well in third. So it's going to be Van Cardo and Förster across the line first. And the British athlete finishing fast, Lucy Armitage, to take third place ahead of the Indian Amardeep Kaur. So good work from Veronica Van Cardo, who and seems absolutely delighted, as you can hear, with her performance, as she might well be. That went very well indeed. And it was right. They still went round in 2:02, but they did it on a slightly slower first lap, which shows that going round in under a minute for the first 400 metres does not necessarily result in a fast time. Tugba Toptas seemed rather surprised by the start at the beginning there, and everybody sort of got a bit of a jump on her to start with, but in 800 metres, not so much of a problem. Van Cardo, though, went out in front, imposed her pace, already looking back, and that look back shows that they were well ahead. Tugba Toptas was the first of the other women home. Still waiting for some times to come up. Bit of a glitch in the system. Van Cargo, though, for her, time's irrelevant. The win, all important. Förster delighted as well. Confident run from her. Takes her place in the semis as well.
And on the runway we have Linares Gonzalez, who set that new personal best in the third round of 6 meters 67 at a plus 1.2 meter per second win behind it. However, but the Colombian is starting to find a rhythm. Fourth round jump. Oh, and that's, you can see how close those medalist positions are. Currently we have Souza of Portugal in the lead with 670. Zhang of China 668, silver, and Gonzalez in the third round moving into the bronze medal position, 1 centimeter behind the Chinese jumper. Great on the board. Great takeoff from the board, converting the speed of that run-up. Just looking, and you can see the coach is talking about what she can do to improve again. 6.63, she stays in third position, but that would have been a best for her. This is Zhang coming in for her fourth round jump. And that's just short of those lines. You can see the graphic in the sand there. The medals literally 2 centimeters from gold to silver and 1 centimeter from Zhang to the Colombian at 6.67. Just waiting for the Chinese athletes this month. 6.44 for Zhang. And it's all starting to get very, very exciting in this women's long jump final. No, that's the wrong person. That's Zhang, who's just had that jump. This is Souza, the leader. That's 6 meters 70 in the third round. She started poorly, the Portuguese jumper. But Then she got a bit of a breeze behind her on the runway, 1.1 meters per second plus, and she went out to 670. What can she do in the fourth round? They're lining up behind her. On the board, just short of those medal jumps, but it's going to be that close that it could come back to your backup jumps. So it's really important to get good backup jumps in tight competitions. As we see Susan coming out fast on the runway, good on the board, good height transfer from that horizontal speed. Just waiting for that. Just 6:39 for Sousa in the fourth round.
So then let's take a look at the runners then in this third heat. On the outside, Spain's Garcia Tena, then the USA's Buswell, Czech Republic's Studakova, Estonia's Antonen, there she is. She will be very hard pushed to go any further with a 2:15 personal best. Finland's Matila, Ecuador's Barreto Vidal, Buckley of Great Britain, and on the inside is Oreshaba of Uganda. Fastest in this field is the Finn, in fact is the Czech Pavla Studkova. 2 minutes dead, her personal best stands irritatingly at for her. She's so close to breaking the 2-minute barrier.
On your marks.
Away we go. And at the moment, the fastest or the slowest non-automatic qualifying time has been reduced now to 2:06.13. Alina Kosunska of Ukraine is the one nervously biting her fingernails at the moment, as the women in the third of the 5 heats make their way around the final curve on the first lap of this 800 metres. Favourites to go through here, not just Studkova of Czech Republic, but also Veera Matila of Finland. 2:01 personal best. She hasn't got faster than 2:02.5 this season though, and she seems to be struggling a little bit off the back, which is a little bit surprising. Through in 64, even slower. So it doesn't augur well for the non-automatic qualifiers in this one, because that's a good deal slower than we've seen so far. Studkova on the inside, who is leading ahead of the Spaniard Garcia Tena. The American Buswell in third place at the moment, with the Finn Matila going. Buckley on the back of that pack of 5, only 4 to go through immediately though. It's going to be a race all the way to the line. The Spaniard Garcia Tena just getting a little bit of tenure now as she looks around and has got this under control. Second place goes to Studkova of the Czech Republic. Matila of Finland also going through as well. And Buckley is the one that's run out of it. So Garcia Tena confirmed as the winner in 2:06.52. And when you consider that the fastest non-automatic qualifier was 2:06.13, nobody is going forward out of this heat, other than those who qualified automatically. So Studkova and the American Buswell was just looking up just to make sure that she was fourth, and indeed she is. With Buckley a little bit behind. And unfortunately that will be the end of her 800 metres. Antonen. Well, Studkova was the one who went out hard to start with Garcia Tenner. They both wanted to take control of this race. It was a relatively slow one, the slowest that we've seen so far, which is why there are no non-automatic qualifiers going through. But for those that did qualify automatically, the best of the races, because they used up the least energy to get there. Very, very comfortable from Garcia Tenner. Another woman like Studkova banging on the door of a sub 2 minute time for the first time in their careers, and they go forward very, very confidently. Good running from them. So then the official results: Garcia Tenner, Studkova, Matila and Buswell are the women who will go through to the next round.
Into the discus circle, the man who's in second place at the moment, Stefan Richter. He was the winner in the under-23s in Bergen, but he's usurped by his teammate Sosna. That could be a slight improvement. That's just over 60 metres. But you can see that he's not getting the flight on that discus tonight, as its front edge is up in the air and it's tipping the discus, and you're just not going to get great flight into the air of the stadium. Head up and discus goes up too. So Richter in the fourth round. Slight improvement, 2 centimetres. There you go, 61.77 for Richter. Holds on to that silver medal position. Gold and silver at the moment, the German team. Sosna into the circle for his fourth round throw. He's got a commanding lead, 64.22 in that gold medal position. Thrown over 70 metres. Ramona this year. That flatter flight, but it's still come down. He's struck that arm far too soon. Gets the red flag because he won't want it measured. And you can, what they call top the implement. It's typical in the throws, apart from the hammer and the shot, but where you get the arm engaged far too soon before the hip has finished its movement. But we're back to the track for the 800 metre round one, and heat 4 over to 8.
In this one then, on the outside, Croatia's Andrušević, Italy's Koiro, Mali's Kone, Luxembourg's Arendt. From Finland, Pirala, Japan's Nishida, Ukraine's Zulzik, and on the inside is Jagasic of Poland.
On your mark.
Just one more heat to come after this. Alina Korzunska is still hanging on to the last of the non-automatic qualifying places. To fill you in with the others, Petja Kluznik of Slovenia, Tugba Toktas of Turkey, and Sophie Coots with her personal best for Canada, hanging on to those places in the semi-finals at the moment. But the Italian Eloisa Koiro trying to come to the front, but the Finn Vera Pirela doing her best to stop her. Fastest in the field is Koiro, though. Again, there is one woman who's done under 2 minutes in each of these heats. In this one, Koiro 1:58.64. We are dealing with world-class athletes when you are well under 2 minutes. It's the Japanese who is out front at the moment, though. Yuri Nishida, a 2:03.26 personal best, and a 62-second first lap, the same as the third of the heats. So it's honest. Now it gives them the scope to really push. They would have seen how slow it was in the last heat and how nobody would have gone through as a result of that. So they're going a little bit more sharply in this one. The cold of the evening beginning to descend on the stadium, but this will not be hurting the 800-metre runners at all. They'll quite like these conditions. Just being dropped is Awa Kone there of Mali. Koiro, though, still leading them around. The two big favourites well in front. Fanny Arendt of Luxembourg also moving well. Poland's Jagasic in third place, but it'll be Koiro who comes up to the line to win it in 2:04.13. And in fourth place, Pirela of Finland. So comfortable for Eloise Koiro. Those are the four that go through then. Koiro, Arendt, Jagasic and Pirela. Klara and Drashevich, 2:06.76. It's not going to be enough to take her through, so just one more round for the four non-automatic qualifiers to survive. No problems though for Koiro, the second Italian to go through impressively after the defending champion. Pedicoro going through in the first heat. Eloisa Koiro, her Italian compatriot, winning the fourth one.
And in the discus, we move into the fifth round of 6. Sakamama of Italy coming into the circle for his next throw. Currently sitting in 5th position with 58.17. He threw that in the third round. Throws 60 meters, he moves up the board. That front edge is up, and you just know that the flight on the discus is so impaired by, the ability to flatten that hand on the discus on release. And yeah, he's a bit frustrated and gets a no throw. Sokomenko for his 5th round. He stays back in 5th place, and we move back to the track again for another heat of the women's 800 metres.
Not only that, the final heat of the 5. In lane 8 then, Lucia Juan Cotton. Inside her from Slovenia, Veronika Sadek. third fastest in this last of the 800-meter heats. Canada's Giulia Agostinelli is lane 6. Mila Kolbe, the fastest woman and a home favourite, in lane 5. Chanda of India is in lane 4. And she's one of the quick women in this race as well. Heidi Hefner from Hungary in 3. Michelle Gröbli of Switzerland in 2. And on the inside is the Nigerian Aishat Mohammed. So then still nobody safe as a non-automatic qualifier in the semi-finals. How fast will this one be? Traditionally, the last heat has generally been the quicker one because they now know exactly what they need to do. The ones who are confident of going through won't be prepared to lead the pace, but any of those who are maybe a little bit doubtful about whether or not they can qualify by right will certainly be trying to do their best to make it quick so that they give themselves a chance to go through as one of the others. Spain's Lucia Juan Contan goes in front at the moment, 2:03.44 personal best set this year for the 24-year-old. She's being pursued by Veronika Sadek. And apart from the Nigerian Mohammed, everybody fairly bunched. That's the Indian Chanda now coming on to the outside as they come through the bell in 63. So it's a second slowest bell that we've had in the 5 heats. What will that mean? It's not been as quick as I was expecting it to be, if I'm honest. The German is just dropping back, Smila Kolbe. She's the favourite, so she'll come back round the outside. Same thing is happening to the Swiss, Michelle Gröbli. And here comes the German. You can hear the cheers as she hits the front with 200 metres to go. Goes past Juan Canton. Moving into second, Gröbli. Chanda behind them of India. Then the Spaniard Juan Canton. And now around the outside comes the Slovenian Sadek. They're queuing up. The Canadian coming into contention as well, Giulia Agostinelli. Doesn't have the fastest time behind him, and now she's being dropped. Away comes the German in a race with Chanda. It's a little bit unnecessary, really. You only need to be in the top 4, but when it's the home crowd, you've got to win. Across the line then comes the German, Kolbe beating Chanda, Sadek and Juan Canton. They're your 4 going through to the next round. (2:05.66) is the winning time. So it means that Alina Kozunska of Ukraine has qualified. So too has Tugba Toptas and Sophie Coots. Let me just... Klojnik, yes. Toptas, yes. Coots, yes. And Alina Kozunska, yes. So no change. Nobody in this heat has challenged those who are already in those 4 non-automatic qualifying places. So a good start to the women's 800 metres. Germans happy. Always good to have a bit of home success to keep things going in terms of interest in a championships on the track and field. So then Kolbe, Chanda, Juan Canton and Sadek all going through. Robley Agostini, unfortunately not quick enough to join the four going through outside of the automatic qualifiers. Semi-finals will take place on tomorrow at 8:05 in the evening local time, and there are the runners that will be in it.
And at the long jump, final attempt for Amitsovsky of Australia. Oh, and that's so close to the medals. Just, you can just see the imprint of those heels just coming down short.